Hey, hey, don't miss the play. Flurry Sports will save your day. Cracking jokes with sports insight. Zach and Jake, they get it right. Fuck yeah.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Flurry Sports Podcast. And tonight, the sports industry is getting lazy. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone's trying to analyze the draft. We're going to grade the draft. It's been done. Everybody has done what they're going to do. Everybody hands out their draft grades after the draft. I don't really understand what they're doing. So tonight, everyone has their first round draft pick, Jake. It's the first time in a long time that we're entering the NFL draft. Everybody has their draft pick. So we have all the information we need, is what I'm hearing. So tonight we're going to grade the draft 1 through 32. How did every team do in a way? So what we're going to do, we have a tier list and we're grading it on how important and how much is this team's first round draft pick going to help them? Is it going to, vault them to a Super Bowl, or no matter what they do, somehow, some way, will they get worse based on whoever they pick? We got a nice tier list, but before we jump into that, how are you doing? Anything you want to talk about, get off your chest. It's WrestleMania week. You've been elbow dropping everybody you've seen. It's crazy.
100%. I've been telling everyone we're actually not into John Cena right now. So everyone stop getting excited.
Yeah. We see you, John. For the first time in a long time, we see who you truly are.
100%. And I feel like there is a big disconnect between, I think casual fans are like, oh, John Cena. And right now, like, people who watch the product are like, this guy fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah. Tune in. Himself.
Yeah, 100%. He won't even change his gimmick, even though we've wanted him to.
That's the funniest thing.
Well, it's
he didn't do what we wanted, asshole.
And by the way, it's what he's been doing his whole career. I'm like, if he did it now, we would cheer him. It's the whole deal. So he's doing great. I couldn't be more pumped for WrestleMania. I weirdly feel like people are going in underhyped.
It does feel that way. It snuck up on me.
It's sneaky. It's I heard someone say this, so I'm copying a little bit. When Triple H plans things out a year in advance, I don't think it feels as exciting because a year ago we knew what they were building to, but it will be good. But it's like everyone's like, where's the suspense? And I'm like, isn't it funny when you know like what a booker might do?
Right.
It's like Vince would just show up and be like, I've actually switched to half of the card.
I like that though. I like the unpredictability. I like the chaotic nature that Vince brings to the day-to-day of the WWE.
Yeah, we need definitely more of it. Not quite as much as we had, but you know, some in there. Listen, I've said this before. Maybe it's because we were watching it at the same time. Triple H could never do the Tractor Brock match. He could never do it. Ironically, I think he technically did. I think he was technically in charge because Vince just left and he's like, Brock, if you come back, I'll give you a tractor. But like, he doesn't do that anymore. He won't do Knoxville Sami Zayn, you know?
No, he's less about the gimmick. He's more about putting wrestlers over, which is what he should do.
Wow. Yeah, it's good. Sometimes books suck. Just, I'm not reading.
We need a palate cleanser in between the good content, you know?
Yeah,
let Johnny Knoxville get trapped in a mousetrap.
I do feel like this is my overall thought coming into this week, which is everyone needs to back off the same 3 weeks in April, which is true. This week, first off, this first thing I'm going to say is going to sound dumb because these two things are always connected. I was like, this week is both Passover and Easter, which feels weirdly closer than this year, but it's always a week apart. I understand. But that feels close. Masters Sunday into WrestleMania weekend. Stop. Too much going on. I think NBA playoffs are starting.
And NHL,
Why? Stop everything. Everybody split up. Search for clues. Golf's the one I'm most mad at. We all cared about Rory McIlroy yesterday.
Did not. I wanted him to choke so bad. That's what he does.
He did. And then he
tried.
Yeah.
first Masters winner with like 2 double bogeys. Like, good for you, dude.
Yeah.
Congrats, loser.
When listen, it took a lot of, like, DeChambeau had an all-time bad day. That one, I don't know if you actually watched it, but Alberg, the like young stud who's going to be the best guy in golf.
Yeah.
Just an astronomically bad end of the day. Like, the fact he wasn't in consideration for the playoff. I think he finished 3 below him or something like that. Like, he was tied for the lead at his 15.
Uh-huh. I mean, it was gifted to Rory on a silver platter, and he's still chucked the platter into the bunker. Yeah, but somehow they went and got it for him. Like, hey, it's your time. That felt booked. That felt like a Triple H booking, not a Vince booking.
No, not a Vince booking where the guy Tiger comes back out. That's
exactly. Yeah, his music hits.
Of course, it's Tiger. Yeah.
Does this make sense? No, but we're just gonna go with it.
Yeah, more appropriately, probably Phil Mickelson.
True. But, yeah, that's true.
But
Phil Mickelson's flipping off all the women, all the gay people. He's just, doing all
handing
this
out $50 bills to people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did collect, but no. So it's been a wild weekend. Like the NBA has gone to a point. I don't think they've even tricked us into caring about the playoffs.
No, there's an article I was just going through like athletic articles, and one is, will the Warriors bounce back in the play-in tournament? Yeah, probably. like who cares? Like, are they going to figure it out, or is it going to be an exit? I'll find out later. They got Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. I'm going to guess they win. Do I know who they play? No.
No, do they play the Clippers, who also have James Harden, which is weird?
Oh, yeah, they do. I was about to correct you, but no, I had it backwards. He is there now, and I think Kawhi's playing. That's a 50-50. I don't know.
Yeah. No fucking shot. The Pistons made it?
Everyone's like, no one wants to play the Pistons right now. I'm like, guess what? Everybody does. They were saying that at ESPN today. Nobody wants to face Detroit.
That's crazy.
Sure. Yeah. That's what needs to be pushed, by the way, NBA. If you want me to care, say, hey, guess what? Detroit's somehow okay. And nobody wants to play them.
And no one wants to play them. Yeah, by the way, the play-in tournament, miserable.
So stupid.
Hawks Magic, Heat Bulls, Mavericks Kings, Grizzlies Warriors. So you got Ja and the Grizzlies versus the Warriors. That's names I know. Cool.
Draymond's gonna bait Ja into whipping out a fake gun. We know that.
we know that. That's a good point. The Kings, the beam me up.
Ugh, the worst gimmick in sports. Who cares?
By the way, I feel like we owe the NBA a big FU for the Mavericks still being in the playoffs.
That's a good point. They're done for. They might as well sell the franchise. Oh, they're in the playoffs? I mean, they could make a run.
Nico. Yeah, and by the way, you can't hit me with both sides, because to your point, everyone's like, the Warriors are in the play-in game. They're going to get hot. They're in the same thing the Mavericks are in, who are dead. They're the worst team in sports.
Give me, I mean, NBA is probably booked. Just give me Mavericks, Lakers, and let me see Anthony Davis take out LeBron. Just clothesline him. Let me see one of those things. Yeah. Or Bronny be the one to take out AD. That could be good too.
By the way, and then I'm going to be done talking about the NBA. Thank God.
Great. Yeah.
Here is my one thing. Spoilers. We're both in on this. All the people who are about, you're joining the Lakers bandwagon. There's no world. Anthony Edwards is about to drop 80. He is a psychopath, and this is what he was built for. Yeah. Oh, no one thinks we're going to win?
Yeah.
Stick.
Luka could be the greatest Laker of all time, and Edwards just dunked all over him.
He's a crazy person. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I mean, we like the Wolves anyways, but Anthony Edwards, he's kind of Jimmy Butler, but he's better. Like, he's just going to come into the playoffs and talk all the shit, which is what we need. He's Draymond's attitude, in a good basketball player's body, which is awesome. Draymond is great for the NBA. He's just not good for his team. Anthony Edwards is both, which is awesome.
If we should do this every once in a while. What's like a sports clip everyone should go watch? If people haven't watched the clip from the Netflix documentary about the Olympic team, where somehow Anthony Edwards traps Obama into a conversation.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome because you can see all the players in the background go, Mr. President, get out of here. Because he's like trying to egg on Ant, and he's like, oh, this kid thinks he's the truth. And you can see everyone else go, don't do this. Because Ant, unironically, to a former president of the United States, is like, this guy doesn't know who I am.
Uh-huh. Try getting out of Anthony Edwards' trap, by the way. He's made a career of it.
Absolutely. But it's true because it's a group of friends being like, Mr. President, he does not care who you are. Anyone else in the we're moments away from him calling you a little bitch. We got to get out of here. Yeah.
Settle it on the court, Prez. Let's go 1-on-1.
Shoot him up. But by the way, I do sometimes like to think I do this with Obama in a few circumstances. Anytime Obama makes the news, imagine it was any other president, and that always becomes funny to me. Like he releases his album of the year list. I'm like, can you imagine if it was like Ronald Reagan's album of the year? Bill Clinton's books he reads.
I mean, fucking either of the last two.
I know, but exactly. Like, can you imagine Donald Trump having to have a conversation with Anthony Edwards? And by the way, pick any other president. It's just it's not a commentary on Democrat, Republican. No. It's just there are moments where I'm like, you can tell he's the first black man we've ever elected.
Yeah. He's the first human.
Yeah, he does. Afterwards, it's like he's producing things now. He's just like a producer on television shows.
Right. Imagine what could happen if you don't elect a president who's 80 years old and on death's bed when they leave the White House. But
then, there are pros and cons that because sometimes that happens, and then that 50-year-old man has to talk to Anthony Edwards. And
that's true. That's true. And Anthony Edwards is going to let him know.
That is such a good 1-2 punch. And Anthony Edwards, you think you're the best player in the world? I'm the truth. Okay. Got to get out of here. Yeah. Whenever people start referring to themselves as nouns, get out.
God. I mean, yeah. we need a one-on-one conversation between both truths, Paul Pierce and Anthony Edwards, because they kind of are the same person, aren't they?
That's honestly so true, and there's no world that should be. We'll do that show sometime. Players, Paul Pierce thinks he's better than, because this is just
insert everybody. Any name.
Insert every name. Yeah, absolutely.
He would do the same thing to Obama too. Paul Pierce is a man amongst boys in his world. He is better than every person he's ever come in contact with.
Yeah. And by the way,
he thinks he assembled the big three. He thinks he did everything. He cured his own cramps after getting wheeled out on a wheelchair.
There's no funnier thing than Paul Pierce, great basketball player.
Yeah.
But there's nothing funnier than the guy being like, it's a great example. I am the best player of the big three, when arguably he was the fourth best player of the big three.
Fair enough.
For a moment in time,
great.
Rondo really had him.
Without Rondo, that team wouldn't have won shit. Rondo was insane.
Yeah.
He never spoke up. It was like, hey, how about a big four? All he had to do is chime in, and it would have been fine.
Well, because listen, Paul Pierce would have had that.
No.
Secret heel all along, Ray Allen.
Yeah, worst human on the planet. Despicable.
Kevin Garnett's worst fucking enemy, Ray Allen.
Honestly, the most impressive thing Kevin Garnett's ever done is not murder Ray Allen, because he wanted to.
Yeah. What do you think about Allen being back around the Celtics again? I just saw a thing where he came and spoke to the locker room.
They're not my Celtics, so I don't care. Makes sense. Jason Tatum's a big loser, so I'm sure he invited him. Brad, you know who I think didn't want him there though? Brad Stevens. I respect Brad Stevens. Good guy. Knows ball.
Butler's finest.
Yeah. If you graduate Butler and we know your name, you're a big deal. I've always
did he graduate Butler, or did he just coach there?
Graduated from the School of Hard Knocks at Butler. Won games. Gordon Hayward, Brad Stevens. 1-2. I don't know anybody else.
No, but that's so true. By the way, Duke should have gave him that chip.
Yeah, for sure.
That shot should have gone in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things Duke should have done that year and beyond.
The show. Yeah,
it's true. I'm still expecting Coach K to come back next year.
That's true. But Zach, in protest of a week that can't figure out what sport it wants to focus on or holiday, we're going to talk about something that's not happening this week.
True. That's kind of what we like to do. And let's talk about the NFL draft. It's been too long. It's been too much time. Again, we are handing out the NFL draft grades already. So we are grading this on the first round. Every single team, all 32 teams have their first round pick, and we are grading it on how much their first round pick is going to help them, hurt them, or what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. We know what teams do. We know there's going to be teams that fuck it up. Hello, Raiders. You do it every time. There's going to be teams that somehow win the draft for inexplicable reasons. Eagles. Somehow you're going to draft Cam Ward at 32. You're going to do something like that because the Eagles always do that. So we are going to grade all 32 teams on how much their first round pick is going to help them. And we will revisit this because I guarantee we are 100% correct. I guarantee a 100% success rate. Don't you?
100% so. By our own metrics and no one else's, because remember, your truth is your truth. Unless, of course, you're Anthony Edwards, and then you're just the truth.
Bingo. So let's just go in alphabetical order, which I think is what these are in. So Cardinals. And if we need a tiebreaker, I think we're going to be on the same page. But if we need a tiebreaker, we'll go in the middle. Cardinals, what's your thoughts on the saltine cracker of the West?
Yeah, so the Cardinals, for those who need a reminder, they are coming in with the 16th pick. Jeez, okay, can we play this game too as we go along?
Sure.
That feels too high. I was
for the Cardinals?
Yeah, 100%. They're the 16th pick. They're not in the top 10.
No, yeah, they're dead in the middle. They are they're just a complete desert. They're in the desert physically and in the draft. Like no one cares about the Cardinals whatsoever.
Yeah.
How did they win? How did they finish in the middle? There's no reason for that. James Conner.
There's no James Conner is the reason for that. So coming off where it's like their big guy is Marvin Harrison Jr.
Who did nothing. They are going to draft a lineman, defensive or offensive. Yeah, they'll probably go defensive line.
Man, this team doesn't get better here, right? Like I don't think they can fuck it up because riddle me this, audience. How do you fuck up the 16th pick? Feels tough.
Also, name a good or a bad draft pick from their first round over the past 5 years.
I know.
Name either.
So this is my debate. This is a tough team to start with. Like, are they fucked it up or are they treading water?
I think they're treading water. Like,
yeah.
Could they have a slightly worse record? Sure. They're not going to have a worse team because of this pick.
No, and I think it's likely. Here's what I don't know. I think they're probably going to get the position right, but the guy wrong.
Sure. Or it's just going to be Cardinals luck where they get hurt. Like, I don't think they're just not going to get a superstar.
No, for sure. I like what I kind of have in my mind is like the year that the Eagles didn't draft Justin Jefferson. Like the Cardinals are like projected to take a D lineman. It's like the next guy will be Khalil Mack.
True.
But I think treading water because as much as I'm surprised they're only the 16th pick, I feel like they're there every year.
Yeah. Yeah, they are right where they should be.
16th pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Falcons. This one's tough for me because normally I would say Falcons they're doing something. What number do
you think they are? Top of your head.
Falcons are, they're near the middle. They are, I should know this. They're like 12th, aren't they?
15th, right next to
15th.
A couple birds.
Okay. Couple birds in a row here. Normally I would say the Falcons are going to get a little bit better. But last year, they completely threw away anything that they wanted to do or anything they needed to do. They overpaid, got Penix, who I liked, but they didn't need to do that after just paying Kirk Cousins, who's still on the team, still getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. And then at the trade deadline, like, oh, we can't get a pass rush, but we will make the playoffs. Let's do nothing. And then they didn't make the playoffs because they didn't have a pass rush. So this team doesn't make good decisions. So they're one of the bottom two for me. They could fuck this up. This current regime is proving they might do that.
Here's my question. Did they fuck up last year? Technically, now with the benefit of time.
If they drafted a defensive lineman, it could have been a bad one. They would have made the playoffs last year. That's 100%. The only thing they had to do.
I think it's treading water because I think I think we can't rule out that the regime was just like, fuck Kirk Cousins.
Maybe. True.
So maybe now they're like, we got it out of our system. It was just that we knew that guy stunk.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's completely fair. And I like Penix. I don't think they drafted a bad player. It's just I don't know what they were doing. I have no idea.
It was literally two different groups running that organization.
Yeah. It made no sense. Okay, Ravens. They have been drafting well, and they're a good team. So we're actually talking about a team that's probably going to get better. But
late pick, 27th pick.
Right, so that's tough. Could they get somebody who gets them over the hump? The question with the Ravens over the past, 5 years has been, how do they get over the hump? Do you think they can do that?
Well, here's my thing. I don't think I think it's silly if the Ravens are like, at the 27th pick, we're going to draft our way over the hump. Like, you should draft to fill potential holes at that point. You should draft to build depth. Like all the mock drafts I'm looking at have a pass rusher.
Yep.
But I think it's you're doing something because I think the Ravens are looking for pieces. I don't want to hold the Ravens accountable in their draft for whether or not they should make more offseason moves.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they draft well. That is not the reason why the Ravens are here. I think they always draft well, and it's like, cool. Teams that draft well should be more aggressive in free agency, not reverse.
I agree. And I completely agree with the ranking too. They'll get a little bit better. They will draft for the need that they have, and the player that they draft will be pretty good. They're just not going to be the star of the team. They're not going to be the reason they win. They're not going to be the reason they lose. The Ravens will just be the Ravens. Now, will the Bills be the Bills? We have seen them say, hey, Chiefs, do you need a speedy receiver? We can give you one. We'll do that. We can take a bad receiver after you. That's cool. We can do that. They did that last year. They draft pass rushers that aren't very good. They do stuff like that. This year, they could be looking for a pass rusher again.
Defensive back is what I see in a couple spots.
Defensive back, for sure.
Always. Every team's like, I guess we could use another one of those.
But, I mean, the Bills have had the same needs for ever. And they just draft players that aren't very good. Or if they are good, they let them walk. And then they overpay at a couple weird positions, and that's about it. So while the Bills are a good team, and while they could potentially compete for the AFC, not a Super Bowl, because this is not a team built for the Super Bowl. They will never win a Super Bowl. Are they going to fuck this up? I think last year, without a doubt, they fucked it up. Without a doubt. Because they handed their rival the best player available, and then they took a player who might not start. He's just not very good, a receiver in Keon Coleman. So what are they going to do?
When they're in the exact same spot, they are one pick directly in front of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. For now. True.
I think they could. Yeah, that's so true. Because they have like is it weird that I'm like in between though? Fuck it up and big pick. Like,
I don't see any way it's a big pick. I can see treading water considering they have the same needs as they've had for 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, I think what I'm getting stuck on, but I think I'm going to ride with you. But just to articulate my thought, I think what I'm getting stuck on is however you feel about the Bills as how they are run. I sincerely think like there is something to the fact that if they do just flip-flop the pick with the Chiefs last year and don't get Keon Coleman, instead get Xavier? Worthy.
Yeah.
Got his first name. That's how close we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead get Worthy, I feel like everyone's like, oh, you would have won the Super Bowl if you just got that pick right. So that's where I'm like, well, if they're one pick away, you know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't
they should be? You're right.
But at the same time, but if we think they're going to get it wrong, well, then it's a fuck it up. I think
they still need a receiver. What did they do last year? They traded away the fastest receiver. They drafted a receiver who's bad, and then at the trade deadline, they traded for Amari Cooper only to do nothing with him. Like, they don't make good decisions. I think their general manager is good. I think this is a good team, but I know they're just not going to make a good decision. It may not kill them. It's proven that they're not going to sink their team.
True. Well, then I think it should be treading water.
It's the Bills are the Bills.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Sorry about it.
Speaking of a team that's not going to fucking tread water, though, I won't allow it. We're sinking or swimming with the Cats, dude.
Yeah, for sure. They will. It'll be polarizing. I can guarantee it. But
the 8th pick, I don't know why. I had the opposite reaction to them and the Cardinals. I was like, they got to be like pick 13, and like, oh no, they were still bad.
They were historically bad, and then they ended the season stronger than they should have.
Yeah, and in fact, should have like played themselves out of the number 1 pick. So the 8 seed. What do you think coming in? Because they're just out of like all the top names in this draft pool. So they should get first dibs of crop B, let's call them.
Right. I think they're in a decent position because like everyone knows on the planet what they're going to do. They had like a historically bad pass rush.
Yeah.
It was unbelievably terrible. So they're going to draft that, and there's going to be 3-4 guys available. So I think no matter who they draft, it's going to make them better for sure. How big of a difference is it going to make? Probably not a huge one, but I think it's going to be a good player. I think it's going to be a good addition. They just need 2 of the player that they draft essentially, and they don't have that luxury. But I think you're doing something or a big pick, probably a doing something because it's the Panthers. But
I think there's a world. Let me play through options of big pick or fuck it up. Because I think there's a real chance that some of the big names in this draft slip.
Yeah.
Whether that's, I mean, you joked earlier. I don't think Cam Ward, but like,
no. Shedeur could.
Shedeur's projected right now to go 1 pick below them, so projected to be there for the Panthers. So do they do that? That's crazy. Do they? Ashton Genty's projected to go.
Could go there.
Above them. Travis Hunter is one where I'm like, do the Browns just eat shit and then everyone else doesn't know what to do, and then Travis Hunter hangs around way longer than he should? And then if that happens, but here's my thing. It's like, I actually think that could be worst case scenario for the Panthers. I'll pick on Ashton Genty. Like, let's say Ashton Genty slips, and everyone knows the Panthers should take a pass rusher. But then you have the world's buffest running back available at 8, Zach. And do you avoid temptation?
I think Genty gets drafted after the Panthers, so I think it's not even a slip. So that's kind of where my mind is.
I think but that's what I'm saying is like someone in that group I think is going to take him maybe earlier than they should, because what is a running back's value? I think that's fair. And is that team the Panthers, whose eyes just get a little big? But that could be a big pick. What if Ashton Genty's just awesome?
It could be. They just drafted a running back in the 2nd round last year, and then they got fucked over because he got hurt again, and he's going to be out all of this year.
Okay, I've talked myself into doing something or big pick because I do think it's like, honestly, Panthers, go ahead, bust this pick. It's fine. Like, all right, the rebuild adds another year. Fine.
Right.
Cool.
At this point, I just don't see any way they can get worse. Like, there's only one way. There's one direction. We can revisit it. I'll go doing something for now. We can move them up if we need to.
Gotcha. Everyone's
Bears.
favorite drafters.
Yeah, the Bears. Here's the thing. The Bears have been drafting pretty good. In this offseason, they've been doing pretty good. Does that mean they're due to fuck it up? Or does that mean they're just going to continue to get good?
I'm I think they're going to continue to do good. I honestly do think it's like all of the projections I've seen on the Bears are also. I think the worst they could do is pick, again, the wrong guy at the right position. I don't think they're like taking any risky positions that will make or break. Like, feels like they're going to take a tight end or a lineman. And if you pick
this is where I projected Genty to go.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. That honestly is like, I think the Bears could be one who take a big swing on a big name. And like, honestly, that's what I don't think they should do. Like,
that's fair. Yeah.
Genty's smart. I guess I wasn't thinking of Genty though, because it's like, yeah, they could use it. Like, go ahead, make him your starting running back. That's awesome. You know,
right.
That is so interesting. I think this is, but it can't be a big pick because, like, if it's not Genty, you think it could be? Do you think?
I mean, last year they made 2 big picks.
They absolutely did. I just didn't know. I guess it depends on if you think Genty. Let's say it's not Genty. Who are the big pick options that will still be there at 10?
They could go cornerback.
Yeah.
The guy from Michigan, Will Johnson. That would be a big pick, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they go offensive line because they just traded and signed a couple big ones this offseason. They kind of figured that out finally. They could go edge rusher. I wouldn't consider an edge rusher a big pick, but I
guess that's what I was kind of thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of in that weird spot.
Is the Penn State tight end a big pick?
He's really fucking good.
Because I think there's a real chance between the 3 you said, the corner, Mike Johnson, Genty, and him. Like, no question, one of those 3 is still there.
For whatever reason, this is a flaw of mine. Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end, who's extremely good. I haven't even considered him to be drafted anywhere except for the Colts, and that's a flaw of mine. Like, I'm just like, white and blue, he's going to the Colts. Colts need him. He's going to go there. He could get drafted before the Colts, and I'm just not even considering it.
Dude, the odds he gets drafted before the Colts, pretty high.
Very high. A lot of people think he's going to the Jets at 6 or 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
We're all around him.
Oh, whatever. Maybe they move up or down 1.
True.
If he goes to the Bears, that's a big pick. He's really, really, really good.
I think we go big pick for the Bears.
I think so too. It's unfortunate. I think so too.
Also, didn't even consider this. Out of all the teams we talked about, I also think Bears could dick on the table, trade up. I think they really value opening round. Let's just get studs. I don't think they're a depth team at this point. I think they're still like, let's keep getting people to build our future around. So I could see, like, to your point, like if they're in on Warren, like trading with the Jets or something.
Yeah, that would actually be a decent spot for the Jets to trade too. So that'd be
Genty.
Yeah, I think they're taking a big swing. And I think they're going offense for sure.
Yeah.
Because of Ben Johnson there now.
And by the way, we're going to get to them later. I have a similar flaw with you, and it's that any running back who somewhat reminds me of a vibe of Marshawn Lynch, I'm like, I mean, he's going to be a Raider. Ashton Genty's going to Vegas. He's going to Oakland, and then he'll go to Vegas.
Right, yeah.
The pilgrimage.
That's right, yeah. He'll walk there. Let's go Bengals.
Ooh.
I'm getting more and more out on the Bengals as the days go on.
The 17th pick.
It's a weird spot. If they don't sign Trey Hendrickson back, they are kind of extremely desperate for a pass rusher.
Yeah.
Since that would mean they lost both of them, including the sack leader, which would be insane. This is Bengals could absolutely trade up. They absolutely could trade Hendrickson away for another first round pick. So it's super interesting. But they could fuck it up. Like, I think they're in a position where they know what they need and they're spending all this money, so they need cheap talent. But I could see them fucking this up big time.
Yeah. I also, to me, it's treading water, fuck it up, because if they that's, and I'm with you on, I guess I'm considering this if they don't get Hendrickson, because then no world where you draft someone who's good as he is.
Correct.
So you are at best slightly declining. And also like most of the things I'm looking at right now for mock drafts and from what I heard, like they'll be the third, fourth team to take an edge rusher at this point.
Yeah, like that's about the draft. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna get the guy that's gonna lead your team at sacks.
Correct.
So, yeah, to me,
I'm fine with treading water if we want to go there.
I think they're gonna fuck it up.
I think so. They are the way they're handling shit this offseason. I think
they're gonna take another wide receiver.
Honestly,
like, the worst option they could do. Yeah,
I mean they just drafted Burton or whatever, who is a loser. Like
they're
a complete
addicted to taking weapons.
Yeah,
it's a serious problem for some GMs. Addiction's not a joke.
No, it's not. You can call somebody. Call a friend.
Honestly, I should have taken alignmentitis is a real thing that happens in the league.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, why do we need a block if we just have another weapon to throw it to?
Yeah, and just like how ALS is now Lou Gehrig syndrome, I would be fine if we called it Andrew Luck syndrome. Also ALS. Sorry.
ALS is not a joke.
ALS is not a joke. Exactly. We're agreeing with you, by the way. If you're listening to this and you're going, ALS isn't a joke.
Yeah.
We agree.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to say. Okay, Browns.
Okay. Browns. Here we go, Zach. This is one of the big ones because they are the second pick.
Yeah.
Everyone and their mom's going, they're going to freaking take Travis Hunter, right?
Not necessarily. I think they can go Carter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But at number 2 overall, you shouldn't be able to fuck it up.
No.
You shouldn't. But could they? It is Cleveland. Theoretically, they don't have a bad choice. However, I would say the bad choice for them would be Shedeur if they decide they wanted to do that.
Take the words out of my mouth. What if they take Shedeur or Ashton? Also crazy. It would be even worse. I'm just throwing out the things they could do. Yeah. Or somehow worse. The number 2 spot is, I will say, the only spot in the draft where I do think it can be a bad look to take an offensive lineman. And not at the fault of the lineman. I'm just thinking of some drafts where everyone's like, you need a skill position. Any and all. Any will do. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Luke Reimer, offensive guard. Like, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No need for that. Yeah. I think here's the thing. We got to define the scale. Now that we're about a quarter of the way in, we got to define this.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Yeah.
Yes. So I think they're going to pick a good player, but does it matter? That's kind of what we're talking about. I think they're going to pick a great player. Does it matter? And if it doesn't matter, are they treading water? Because I think if they take Carter, I think that's great. And then I think Myles Garrett's going to say, see you later. And Myles Garrett's gone. Or if they take a quarterback, they're playing behind Flacco. You kidding me? Flacco's starter there. He's already proven that. Or if they take Travis Hunter, okay, great. He plays cornerback. Lamar's going to run by him. If he plays wide receiver, who cares?
I think to be fair, though, it is a good question. But I think to be fair, this pick still helps that. I think them being in a general state of they have so many holes to fix. I don't think this pick is treading water. I think this pick a year from now is a step in the right direction, hopefully. Like, to me, it is either a positive pick or it's a fuck it up.
Okay. But if it's a positive pick, like, are they're doing something like, hey, it's not going to make a big impact on them, but they're at least trying to get better. Is that what that category is meaning here for them?
Here's how I would define it. Like, to me, big pick is a clear improvement.
I don't think it's going to be an improvement, though. I think it could be the greatest player on the planet. Joe Thomas was unbelievable. He is the biggest loser in NFL history.
Think of how bad they would have been without Joe Thomas.
They didn't win a game.
But only one season. I will say, I've been thinking about this a lot. Travis Hunter going there and being like, everyone going like, told you he was fine, even though he'll be like stellar, is because what will his impact be on that team? Right. I think it's got my pick is you're doing something. I think by definition they are like, or fuck it up. I'm still in camp. If you're about to tell me they're for sure going to take Shedeur, then you could talk to me about fucked it up.
I think the only way it's a true fuck up to me is if they take Carter and they're like, great, now we can trade Myles Garrett.
Absolutely. Okay.
Which is possible.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think there's any world where they draft Carter and then keep Myles Garrett. Right?
There's a chance, yeah. I mean,
there's a chance. Okay, sorry. I could see a world. I mean, it's a possibility. I'm with you.
Could they trade away Myles Garrett to Pittsburgh for TJ Watt and sign him for a little bit more? Because now TJ Watt wants to get out of there. That could be fun.
We do a Garrett Watt switcheroo.
Yeah.
That's the most, by the way, it's the most treading water thing you could ever do.
Yeah, great.
You don't see enough of that in sports, by the way. I love totally equivalent trades.
Yeah. Why not? That's what we're all looking for. Sometimes we just need a breath of fresh air. Speaking of breath of fresh air, the Dallas Cowboys.
Boy.
Are they going to fuck this up?
Who are they going to feed to Brian Schottenheimer? Who are you going to give the mad genius,
Yeah, I've seen people project Tyler Warren here, that Penn State tight end. They desperately need offensive linemen now that Zach Martin retired.
Is so much lower than I thought it was for them.
Yeah, it's a weird spot. They need a lot of everything. They could use an edge rusher. They could use a cornerback.
Oh God, they're going to take a wide receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a chance they go Golden, the speedy wide receiver from Texas. Jerry gets like, oh, I want to keep him in state, and then he puts his blinders on and takes him.
I see him in some of these. I also see Tetairoa McMillan from Arizona.
Yeah, who notably a couple years ago said he doesn't like to watch practice film or watch game film.
Feels like a Cowboys pick to me.
It does. Like, I think if they go wide receiver, I think it's a fuck up. But they could go a smart pick like offensive lineman to replace Zach Martin, which would be a great pick.
Yes, but by your Browns logic, I still think that's. Are we rewarding teams for if a guy just leaves naturally, like Zach Martin left of natural causes? So you should replace him. Yeah.
What this draft pick doesn't impact Zach Martin. He's already gone out to pasture. He finally got away. He escaped the compound. He got out of this Church of Scientology. He's out of there.
True.
Applaud him for that.
I do think the Cowboys are a point for me that they're doing something. I guess. Because I could even see, like, they take a wide receiver. That is a dumb decision. Mm-hmm. But because they are so bad at almost every position right now, like a good wide receiver doesn't hurt them. It's just not the move they should be making. They could definitely compensate for that in other ways if they had any other skill sets in their decision-making process.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that.
I'd like to make a quick switch halfway through.
Perfect.
Seeing the rest of this category.
Yeah.
I think we should move up the Panthers.
To big pick?
I think they're going to have a big pick.
Okay. I'm open to it. If Andy Dalton's calling the shots, I think it's definitely possible.
I think they can smell it. I think they want an addition that will help this year.
Okay. Why not Aaron Rodgers? Why not him there? That could happen. Now that he's rumored to the NFC South, why not them? Trade away Bryce Young.
Rumors to divisions is a gross development in our sports talk.
It's a birdshot approach instead of a buckshot. Hey, lots of teams could use Rodgers.
I am in on, like, I wish it was like he's really leading NFC.
Yeah, just narrowing it down.
Half of the league. Yeah.
Sick of the AFC. 2 years was enough.
You know who's also sick of the AFC?
I mean,
Denver Broncos.
Gotta be. I think this is going to be a big pick, though.
Big pick, you think, for the Denver Broncos, all the way up at. Wait, where are they?
They're low. They're going to be probably like 20th, 22.
Oh, 20th. You nailed it.
Yeah. They're pretty good. They won games with literally nothing. They were paying Russell Wilson $60-80 million or whatever. They're finally able to spend some money. They got rid of their shitty running back. I think they could go to the North Carolina running back, Hampton here, who I think is the best one in the draft, or just let Sean Payton pick players. I think Sean Payton's a good coach. So I think big pick.
I like that because if they don't take running back, I think they take wide receiver. And I I think Hampton's good. And I think there's a real chance that some of the skill position players drop.
Mm-hmm.
Like I won't pick any of these specific names, but Golden or hell, I really don't think these two will drop, but like Golden or the Penn State tight end or Genty, like one of those having a crazy drop, not maybe all the way to 20th, but into the Broncos, like, oh shit, we could trade up to 16th range.
Broncos are a team that could be aggressive too, though.
Yeah.
And move up to grab a Genty.
The Bengals are just begging for someone to take their 17th pick away. We don't want it, they say.
I think the Raiders said they want to go down. They're already panicking. Get us out of here.
The Raiders. God damn it, dude. Pete Carroll deserves so much better. Buck up, Raiders.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be a Raiders move. Traded in division. Right. Broncos, come here, come up, come get it.
Zach, I think we have our first conversation about the very top of this.
Okay.
The very top of this here pool. I've been thinking to myself, who the hell are we ever going to put in the win the Super Bowl? Because this is not like coming into this could you win it, but I think you're a pick away.
Yeah.
From being in it this year. I think the Lions are certainly in that conversation, and 28th just not quite right at the end, could be aggressive and trade up a little bit. Because here's my question. I guess this is really the only question.
Okay.
I think you could make the argument they're win the Super Bowl if they just pick the right offensive lineman. That's what I'm wondering.
Here's my thing. I think they're 2 picks away, which I think they get both of. They need an offensive lineman. They need a guard. And then they need an edge rusher to pair with Hutchinson, which I think they get as well.
A second round edge rusher, though?
Yeah, I think there's enough. I think that it's deep enough, and they're not drafting him to be the number 1 guy because Hutchinson's a fucking madman.
Already there. Yeah.
Like he was still leading the league in sacks like 4 weeks after he got hurt.
Yeah, true.
They just need somebody, anybody. So I'm okay with win the Super Bowl. And tell me this, Jake. What if they draft who I think they're going to draft? What if they go, an offensive lineman from North Dakota State with the first name of Gray Zabel, a farm boy who knows hard work?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Of
By
course
the way,
we need this
going to look sick on a fake offensive line sneak, dude.
Yes. Oh, are you kidding me?
A little leak for the big boy?
Hey, Gray Zabel can move, by the way. He can scoot. He's a tackle, probably going to move inside to guard. Imagine him pulling around. This is not legal, but just imagine him pulling around and from the guard spot for a bubble screen, and then Penei Sewell's out there hunting heads.
Yeah.
Gone.
Boom, by the way, that's such a funny way. Like, I know, I do know what you mean, but as you were drawing it up, I was like, is he like just finding a different way to describe a swinging gate? Like,
hey,
hear me out. 3 linemen, they end up way over there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you put fucking, I don't know, any tight end right behind them.
By the way, if there's any team that's going to run a swinging gate this year, it's the Detroit Lions. And if there's a swinging gate with an offensive line in front of them of Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, and Gray Zabel, good luck. You're done. They'll eat your face.
They will eat your face. Who's behind that? And somehow in my mind, the pass is going back to Jared Goff. Who's behind that?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. Jared Goff. I mean, Sam Laporta's kind of a psycho. That would be a good one. Or no. It's going to be Shane Zylstra or Brock Wright. It's going to be one of Dan Campbell's second or third string tight ends.
Or it's Skip.
Oh, it's Skipper.
It's a 4-person. It's a 4 lineman swinging gate.
I think he may have left. I think someone may have paid him. I hope I'm wrong.
I think you're right. I think he left. Yeah.
Dan's got to be heartbroken.
I think this is 100%. I think this is Super Bowl because he's still there. Great celebration.
Okay, thank God.
But I think the Lions won't fuck up their pick at all, and I think they're that close. I like what you said of, let's say the lineman pool is not quite that deep right here. Well, then they'll take the best edge rusher available and they'll just flip the 2 picks.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I love that for them. The Packers, we are Packer fans, so please endure our pessimism for the next 30 seconds.
Yes. So here's 2 schools of thoughts. The Packers have been treading water ever since Brian Gutekunst have come. So that's one thing. But also, if we're only measuring first-round draft picks, all they do is fuck it up. So why start making a good first-round picks now?
And there's no world where he doesn't take a cornerback. The Packers fucking love doing that, and they actually maybe need one this year. So I think it's treading water because I just think they're going to add another depth cornerback that will, in a year from now, be clearly not the D-back they should have picked.
Right. They will pick the right position, wrong player.
Yeah, and if you hear me talking about that a lot already, it's because I'm haunted by it. The Packers do it every goddamn year. They always pick the right skill set and not the right dude. So
there's one answer for this, by the way. What's the correct pick with this draft pick? What's the correct move?
Like guy or position?
I'll tell you. You make up for the things you've done, the nightmares that have caused Jake. You send it to fucking Pittsburgh and get TJ Watt home. Bring him home and send Rashawn Gary with the first-round pick. Fine. Bye. Get him out of here. Everybody wins.
Why did they never? I don't think people understand this enough. I'm glad you brought it up, Zach. Why don't we ever take hometown guys? Not once. Not fucking once. We could have done it with Russell Wilson and got it right.
Yeah. Yeah. In that draft, we took Vince Beagle. We're like, huh? There you go. You're Wisconsin edge rusher. That's what you wanted.
We took Eddie Lacy instead of Monte Ball.
Oh, God. And by the way, I love Eddie Lacy.
I do too, but Monte's a boy, and he could have been here for years, dude.
Could have drafted Melvin Gordon. He could have drafted any of these guys.
How about the 5 linebackers that are like among Pro Bowl linebackers any goddamn place? Like we couldn't have gotten one of the Grantsburg boys. Get his brothers on the line.
True. How has Wisconsin been offensive line U and running back U, to your point, and we've gotten 0 of them?
And now linebackers, like we're not even getting any of these like studs. We didn't even get Van Ginkel.
No, I know. The Vikings got the bastard. He's incredible.
Yeah, and they even got to, oh, God damn it. They even got to see him somewhere else. He's in Miami.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Everyone went, he's good.
God, it's so easy. Just take the guy. Just take the Wisconsin guy.
49ers got to take that one dude who retired before we even drafted somebody.
Yeah, Borland.
Thank you. I was like, what's his name? Borland retired young. We couldn't even coax him out of retirement. We didn't even sign Jim Leonard.
No. We had Jarrett Aberderis after we saw him at the preseason Detroit Lions roster. Come on, we need the Magic Man back there. Like, it would have been incredible.
Aberderis, people won't remember this. Aberderis had a magical 2 weeks that one year. If he'd stayed healthy, he was going to do it. We signed a wide receiver from Whitewater before we picked.
True. That's true. Jay Kumerow, right?
This is insane. Okay, Houston.
Yeah, Houston. They need offensive line and maybe a wide receiver. If they take offensive line, it's kind of a win no matter what.
I think this is can it be a big pick at 25?
Yeah, there's offensive line is going to go late. So I think they can get a very solid starter there if they do that. If they go wide receiver to like try to replace Tank Dell or Stephon Diggs, I think that's a bad move. But
I think they're in perfect position to I just don't think their floor is very low. I think they've got a lot of great options and they're in good position to get someone who definitely got missed.
That's fair. Yeah. And again, they're another
or
team.
Is it just you're
why wouldn't
something?
You move up?
Yeah.
I I think it's big pick. I think is fair.
I think so too. By the way, bring TJ Watt home to you too.
True. Yeah, true. Very good point. Now here's the Colts. We all know they're taking Tyler Warren somehow, some way.
Are we only ranking them on the tight end? They're definitely picking.
But boy, they have
14. That is such a funny observation by you. It's just like not in their, it's not in their control at all. It'd be like, they're gonna get Travis Hunter. It's just like willing it into existence.
Well, it's like the Jags are getting the D tackle from Michigan. Everybody knows that. So like that's another one, and that's a consensus across the board too. Everyone's like, yeah, of course,
a bunch. Here's my thing. Let's say if they don't get the Penn State guy, they're the one team I'm like, are they a fucking idiot and they just take the next best tight end? They're like, we didn't know.
Michigan guy. They might.
That's a mistake. There'll be so much better value there. But I could see them being like, well, we need a tight end. We've all agreed here in this room with Jim Irsay.
Or they could turn into like a little bit of a New York Giants syndrome where like every year they just take a wide receiver that never pans out. Because they did it the last couple of years now too.
I just think they always find reasons to not take offensive linemen.
Right. So, I mean, I think
NFL's got them at a 40% chance to take a tight end.
Tyler Warren's already in Indy as we speak.
Okay, but all right. Well, let's talk about that then, because that's a great pick.
Yeah.
So how do we rank this? Because if they get him,
true,
it's a great pick.
Can I add another tier that's just Tyler Warren and we put him there?
It's very conditional. I think we hedge our bets and we go, you're doing something.
Yeah, I think they're doing something. They have a path. They know
Tyler Warren's great, and he can't fix Indy,
True. Jags. Again, I think it's pretty obvious they're drafting the first D tackle out of Michigan.
Yeah.
But does that matter?
It just feels like the other D tackle out of Michigan will for sure be better.
Sure, of course.
Like there's two of them, and one's going to Jacksonville.
The one going to Jacksonville, I would almost compare to, and this is such a bad comparison, but it's true in my mind. He's kind of an Aaron Donald-like guy.
Okay.
But he could be the Aaron Donald-like guy who doesn't play with knives and just isn't very good,
You think Mason Graham's got that dog in him?
He does. He's pretty damn good. It's weird to see a white D tackle that's got moves,
That's what I was gonna say. Photos of him don't do him justice. Like I've yet to see a photo. I'm googling him right now. That's like, and I mean I know him and I've seen him and he looks more. But like, I do feel like I'm about to be drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Like it looks a little too much like me, and I don't got that dog at me.
True. He doesn't have enough swag either.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's a good player, but you're right. He's not going to be a defensive lineman like we need a defensive lineman. He's not going to be, he's not a gravedigger. He's not a Gilbert Brown. He's not going to coach a lingerie football league.
No. Is that the right pick though? For where they are in the draft and by who will likely be gone at that point? Is that the right choice? Whether they'll work out or not, is that the right move?
100%.
Then I think it's got to be.
They're treading water though. They're not getting better.
Oh, you don't think they're getting a little better?
No. Doug Peterson didn't die for them to get better here.
True. Neither did Urban Meyer, by the way.
No, Liam Cohen may not even be on the team by the time the draft's done. He might leave for another place.
Treading water's fair.
Jags stink. Okay, Chiefs. Got to be a big pick in my mind. After losing in the way they lost, I feel like this is when they usually bounce back.
The 31st pick. They're another one I think we have to talk about whether or not they're a Super Bowl.
Right, that's true. If all they do this offseason.
Oh, sorry, I just saw this. Why does everyone think they're going to trade with Minnesota?
Someone's going to give them a pick to move up, and they're going to take a good offensive lineman probably. Or D lineman.
I got you. That's what it is saying is they project. Okay, gotcha. I was like Minnesota or someone else. Okay.
So if the only thing the Chiefs do this offseason is improve the offensive line, would that be Super Bowl to you?
Yes.
I think so too.
Like they were in it already, and honestly, if they played the Eagles 10 times, I still think they win some of those games.
I do too.
So
just got away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there'll be a really good lineman left in like the mid-20s.
100%. That's where, I mean, they may get the third offensive lineman off the board at that pick.
Yeah.
If they move up to mid early 20s.
Yeah. If the Colts have anything to say about it, there'll be 2 tight ends gone by that point.
Absolutely. I mean, that's another pick that the Chiefs could do, which is interesting. If they get super aggressive and say, hey, Raiders will take the pick, and they trade up and get Tyler Warren to be the next Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
That's interesting. And then I guess you got to get a good lineman in the second round. Do you almost have to move up twice?
Potentially. It depends on what they do. They can get good guard pieces. It's just hard to get a good tackle.
Yeah. That's an interesting. I don't think you're wrong. Or even like, you know, they trade up and who's the other guy? I'm like, I mean, he's really good. And like, if they take tackle, like I like Josh Simmons, the guy from Ohio State. And I feel like he could bounce around. Mm-hmm. So it's like you could draft, like trade up to, I don't know. The Saints feel like they just want to get out of here.
They do.
So the Chargers.
Man. I feel like they're drafting somebody from Michigan. And they got a lot of good players.
The 22nd pick. That, by the way, God damn it, 100%. Colston Loveland.
Great that's who I have projected there.
Yeah.
But if the Colts take the second tight end, then he would be gone, though.
Yeah, let me look. Other Michigan players around that pick, though.
They could do the second D tackle. I think Grant.
Yeah, Grant.
That would be the other Michigan guy, but they have a few areas they could go. I just feel like Chargers they spent last year laying the foundation of like what the character of everything is. I think they're just going to get better.
Yeah. I think it could be good because if they don't go, well, I guess they still could go Michigan guy because I think they might go. I like that tight end pick, but honestly, I think they'll go D tackle, D line.
Sure.
And there'll be a lot there, whether it's the second Michigan guy or not. So I feel like they're doing something.
Yeah, I think it's one of these two for sure. So I think that's fair.
Think it'll be. I don't have that confidence in them.
Okay. Do you have that confidence in the other LA team, the Rams?
I'll tell you what, the Rams have really won me over this offseason. Everywhere Devontae goes, I'm like, they want it. It's never helped anyone. But
I mean, I think they majorly upgraded in my opinion.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I think they got a lot better this offseason. I think they're going to be a good team. They just don't improve with first round draft picks though, very often.
No.
But they could get like a good offensive lineman. They need everything on defense.
Yeah. I think they'll be good defensive backs at that point at 26. I could also see them trading slightly back. Yeah. Being one of those teams that swaps with somebody. Will this be a treading water pick, which I think is what you're thinking through? Or also, here's a theory. Are they, because talent level, they're not a bad team at all. To your point, they're pretty good. So could you make the argument, well, if they have depth need at a bunch of positions, are they going to be doing something no matter what they do? Like, right.
The other thing they could do is take a quarterback in the first round for a Stafford plan when he's gone.
Yeah.
Which again, doesn't help.
Shedeur starts slipping.
Honestly, Shedeur, Jackson Dart,
by the way, this is why no one's going to this is the only reason why no one's let me be a GM yet. Okay. The only reason. Because I'm not drafting a guy named Jackson Dart.
I mean, yeah, he throws darts. Throws darts, smokes darts. That's all you're trying to do. So
absolutely. I mean, if we could do that one time, by the way, who would our NFL roster be just based on the names? Who would we have had to draft?
That's our mock draft next year. Or next week.
I was like, okay, good. Give me a full year to prepare.
Yeah, for sure. Ram,
I think doing something.
doing something or treading waters for me, so I'm fine with doing something. Now, Raiders, are they going to fuck this up?
What do you think? Because I think even if they trade out of it, is that good? Is that fine?
I think they're treading water or fucking it up. Like, I believe in Pete Carroll so much, which is the issue. And Tom Brady's there, which should be good. I've just seen too many terrible Raiders draft picks.
By the way, Rams have Quinn Ewers all over them. They're fucking dripping in Quinn Ewers.
They
See in the third round, Quinn. Sorry, I just saw that and I was like, oh yeah, that's where he's going.
That's true.
Here's my thing with the Raiders. There will be some, I think, really stellar picks left when they are there.
Absolutely.
And they kind of need everybody, right? Won't it?
Everything.
And 100%. Now here again, it's time we talk about our tier list today, because
about time.
Are we saying they will be more competitive after this pick? And they were almost a 500 team. They were a 500 team 2 years ago with basically the same roster.
Mm-hmm. And
now they've got Pete Carroll. He adds 3 wins. We can all agree that's a given. They're 3 wins better, Pete Carroll.
3-win Carroll. That's what they called him.
Absolutely. 3-win Pete. 3-Pete. Whoa.
Repeat. Well, okay, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. But so if you add Ashton Genty, you add, who do you think they're going to take if they don't trade?
I think they go maybe McMillan, wide receiver from Stanford.
Yeah.
Because they need receiver really, really bad.
Yeah, and I think the rest are set. They had Shedeur.
They love Shedeur. So if Shedeur slips, it'd be interesting. They just signed Geno to a multi-year deal. But
who takes Shedeur ahead of him? Who do you think takes Shedeur?
I think the Saints could trade up to take Shedeur. I think the Browns still could. I don't know. Like Raiders, like I said, they want to trade back. They want to fuck this up. They're begging to fuck it up. They're saying, please let us draft another Cleveland Farrell. Please, we understand. There's good players there, but we want to take what's the lineman? We want to take Alex Leatherwood. Please let us take him. They want that bad.
They also feel like they're just gonna take Jalon Walker, who is good, but it's like feels like okay, we took this pretty good guy.
Mm-hmm.
I will say there's a piece of me that just feels like Abdul Carter will be a Raider.
They would have to move up. There's no way he falls.
Oh, come on. There's a way.
No. He's the best player of the whole draft.
I know, but Pete Carroll's got his eye on him.
He does. He's going to be heartbroken after the second pick.
Yeah.
Pete.
I think this will be positive for the Raiders. I'm thinking about how positive it will be.
Sure. So doing something that kind of hedges your bets a little bit.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be a big pick?
If they pick Shedeur or Ashton Genty, or I'm trying to think who will be available at that time. I feel like there's 3 guys who will be there that are big picks.
I think Shedeur is out now. I don't think they can do it.
Okay. So, and I just don't know if they should take Genty.
I agree, but a lot of people think they are. Do you take the running back before you take the offensive line? The age-old question that has one very clear answer.
Yeah, by the way, 2 very clear answers, because there's the answer that you should do and the answer that everyone does for some reason.
Yeah.
Is it a big pick if they take Mason Graham? Is it a big pick if they just take the biggest offensive tackle you've ever seen?
No.
I think it's doing something then, because I think the odds are they trade out or they take a big lineman, as they should. But
yeah, I think they're trading up, but we'll see. Miami Dolphins. I'm putting my foot down. They're fucking it up.
Okay, you get one. This is your one. I agree with you. Okay. Go for it.
Thank you. They will take an offensive lineman. Will it be? Okay, we'll agree with the other one. I'd put my foot down for, so it'll be okay. Okay, Vikings. Vikings have continued to take okay players.
Yeah,
but if they keep taking like defensive backs that aren't very good, they're just going to tread water. So I'm okay with. They're not going to fuck it up, unfortunately. But
is this where I want to put my foot down?
You could. I mean, this could be last year. There's no doubt about it. They picked that pickup.
I cursed him.
Yeah, you told them.
100%. I still kind of feel bad. It's the closest I've ever gotten to jinxing somebody. So here's the thing. They're in rumors to trade back. And then I'm going to put my foot down. I'm putting my foot down right here. The Vikings are fucking it up.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Because, and here's my definition of that for the Vikings. I'm very sick of them being like a rebuild team when they want to be and a contender when they win a few games in a row.
Yeah.
Because you can't talk to me about like, now we got JJ McCarthy. We're not signing another quarterback. We're going to rebuild. And now you're going to maybe trade back for the, you know fair. What I'm saying? Like, they're not going to do this correctly. Even if they take a fine player, they won't be better.
Sure.
And I don't think they're going to trade up as they maybe should if they were truly in a rebuild to like get a high value guy. So, and also fuck them. I guess if they get a good player, I'll be wrong about the Vikings, which
one thing the rumor that they might do, and this is a dangerous game. They may take a safety as a replacement plan to Harrison Smith, thinking it's his last year. And I don't want to count Harrison Smith out.
No,
you're playing with fire.
I'm just going to put this out in the universe because I'd love to be on the early train of this, getting this right.
Okay.
There's a knock at the door, Zach. Do you hear that? It's an old friend. He's not vaccinated. I think Kirk Cousins is coming back.
Yeah, it's very possible. I don't know which quarterback you're talking about.
It's so true. Honestly, wait a minute. I did not, everyone at home, didn't mean to tease you that much. Whoa.
Yeah. Hello. Oh, hi, Kirk. I guess you're fine too.
By the way, that actually makes me feel better because I was like, oh, was that too harsh? Because I'm not trying to start any shit in the chat. But, turns out I could throw that out about a few different quarterbacks. So,
this is.
Can I get that sprinkle bet that
we're at a party.
Vikings are going to add a quarterback who's not vaccinated?
Sure. Hey, that's very possible. What I imagine, what you just did was you and I are watching WrestleMania.
By the way, Randy,
having a good
Patriots
time.
Pick Will Campbell. Stay tuned.
No, they take Travis Hunter or they take like somebody like that. But we're watching WrestleMania. We're having a good time. And then you tell me, oh, I ordered pizza. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Toppers is the shit. And I knock at the door. I open the door. It's Papa John's. I'm like, okay, like this is fine. Is there garlic sauce? No.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Sure.
That's such a good example. Maybe I'm just this aggravated with the Vikings. Stop pretending like you didn't want Aaron Rodgers at all.
Right. Yeah. You fucked yourself with JJ McCarthy. Sorry. Jake told you. Jake warned you.
This is the most unhinged thing I've ever said on the show. Get ready. I'm about to quote the Bible with the Vikings. You're neither hot nor cold. You are lukewarm. I spit you out, sir. You're nothing. You're nothing. You are You are less ambitious than the Packers.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough. They just disguise it better.
Yeah, and I feel like now I've overcommitted, and they're definitely about to draft a Hall of Famer, but I'm sticking to it, and we're gonna hang it. We're gonna hang there. I put my foot down.
That's fine. Now, Patriots with Vrabel. I feel like they could be an Abdul Carter spot or a Travis Hunter. They're gonna get one of the two, and I think no matter what, it's gonna be the correct pick.
Dude, poor Jared Mayo.
I know.
This stinks. I, by the way, caught myself. I'm very close to saying poor OJ Mayo.
Keep the trend going. I think this is going to be a big pick.
This is a big pick. There's no doubt in my mind this is a big pick.
Yeah. The Saints, Derek Carr could miss the entire season. So now all of a sudden they are firmly in the quarterback sweepstakes, including the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. So if Aaron Rodgers miraculously goes there and pays part of the Saints salary cap off, if that's illegal, and he goes there, then they wouldn't go quarterback. Otherwise, they could be the Jackson Dart spot. They could be potentially the Shedeur spot. Is that a big pick? Is that a doing something? Is that treading water? Is that fucking it up? That could be any of them. And this is the conversation we've sort of had with the Saints for the past 4 or 5 years. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they going to make a good pick? Is it a bad pick? We will not know the grade of this after the draft. We will not know the grade of this 10 years from now. This is the true question mark, but I will put them wherever you want to put them.
I think they're not going to get it right.
Okay.
I just don't have confidence. I think they are. I 100% agree with you. They could take, I think the worst thing that could happen to Ashton Jeanty in this draft is he ends up a Saint.
Yeah, that would be a terrible pick.
Like,
it's possible, though.
I think they'll take maybe even a big name and be like, God, they took the tight end from Penn State. Like, it's like.
Nah, Colts got him.
True. He's slipping. Yeah. Shedeur feels that way. To me.
Is that a fuck it up?
No, because I think they'll pick the guy they're supposed to. I just think it's treading water. I think they're too far away. And I think they'll end up not doing the best possible thing, feels like, and they'll be treading water. This one's interesting. What do you think? Third
Giants
pick?
at 4, or 3.
Fourth? No, sorry. No, we're both second guessing. It's 3.
3. Okay. Travis Hunter feels likely here. Like, it fits their needs so well. Am I wrong?
This is going to be Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, unless they trade.
They could trade. I don't think they need Abdul Carter. And this is my line of thinking.
Yeah.
I've been watching too much film. I'm starting to think Travis Hunter is not very good. Like, I'm starting to second guess myself. It's if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. If you play 2 positions, guess what? You're not playing any positions. I think he's doing too much. I'm going to say here first. Travis Hunter needs to pick a lane. He can't do everything.
I do think he's an interesting ball game because I love now that we're here at the draft. People are like arguing with like, how much value does him playing 2 spots? Like, is that the only thing that's great about him, or is he truly?
That's my thing. Oh, cool. You're the second best corner and the second best receiver on the team. That's not that great. And then you're splitting time, splitting reps, splitting mental reps, splitting all of that. You're just going to get worse. You're going to get passed by.
I don't think he's going to be playing both positions in 3 years.
Hey, yeah. So not everybody's Shohei Ohtani, you know?
Literally no one else. It's the whole thing. I keep trying to tell people that. It's just him and for a few years, drunk Babe Ruth.
Sure. Hey, Pac-Man Jones. He did it for a hot second.
That's so true. Devin Hester, technically.
I guess, yeah. He barely was a receiver.
Yeah.
Cordero Patterson. Give him respect.
By the way, put him in the hall.
100%.
Listen, it's hard. Having the Giants and fucked it up on the same tier list is not fair. You know?
I mean, it's magnet. Just like who's the GM's son going to tell him to pick? That's what I'm wondering.
And will they listen?
Yeah.
That is a good thought experiment. I think he's going to tell them to take Abdul Carter.
Maybe. I think they're not going to fuck it up, but I just don't think it's a home run like everyone thinks.
Yeah, is it like, it's the most Giant? This is what I was talking about earlier. Is it the most Giants thing ever of like, oh, hey, don't worry, everybody. I know we didn't take Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, but we took Will Campbell.
Yeah, like, you said we needed to take an offensive lineman.
And but it's not any of those guys. Okay, all that aside, all the Giants pessimism aside, I like all 3 of those guys on other teams. So I'm like, is this a big pick? Here's what the only route I see for fucked it up is there's no world a team that bad should be trading out of it, and I think they will. Yeah,
they might. I mean, that's what happens when you sign Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. All of a sudden, again, you have 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, or they also take Shedeur.
Yeah. Yeah, now they got the 2. Imagine you come to work and your 2 bosses are Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, and they just quote movies at you all day.
By the way, I do love the idea that Russell Wilson ends up in another quarterback competition that he can't win.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, he chose to go there. It's his fault.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're really negative on them, so it's like they can't be higher than you're doing something.
Yeah, I think they're doing something. I think it's fair.
All right.
Jets. This is the other one I said we would agree with. So what do you think about the Jets?
They're going to fuck it up.
Of course they are. Yeah. I think they take an offensive lineman. I think they take a bad one.
Yeah, when they should. They're the one team I'm like, you should trade. You should move.
Yeah.
Up or down.
Or Aaron Glenn's just like, hey, I saw the Lions take a running back super early and create a cool backfield split. Why don't we take Genty to pair with Breece Hall? Wouldn't that be smart?
Maybe I'm wrong, man. Genty's not leaving the top 10. So it's like we're running out of teams that are like for sure going to take him. I think also this happens on draft night where GMs are like, he'll be gone. He's still here.
I know.
Ooh.
I know.
They also feel like Travis Hunter's worst nightmare. Travis Hunter ends up on the Jets.
That's true. That would be a nightmare. And they could be a shooter spot. People are acting like he's not. I don't know why. Like, you think Justin Fields is the answer long term?
No. I guess in my head I've still been considering him there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have a fun one, Zach.
Eagles Super Bowl. They have to.
Even if they trade it away.
They will trade up. They will not pick 32. They will be picking in the 20s. They do this every time. And we keep letting them get away with it. It's not fair. Like Howie has dirt on every GM in the league. It's bullshit. They're going to take a very good defensive player from Georgia. I guarantee
it. The NFL mock draft, I've got a few open. Someone at the CBS mock draft hates the Browns because he's got the Browns trading with the Eagles to get Jackson Dart.
Interesting choice. Maybe. Why not? I think win the Super Bowl. I just think they're too good, and I think they're always draft well.
They draft incredibly well, and they literally just won it. And all the positions they could use a bulk up in will still be in good depth when they're there. So yeah,
they're in such a good spot. Steelers could go quarterback, could go edge rusher, could go wide receiver potentially. Like, I think they're not going to do bad. They draft good players.
Yeah, but don't you feel like their board says, please let Shedeur fall to 21? Like, I feel like I just don't feel like they're always a team that I feel like is going to leave media day and be like, if this guy who in no world was going to fall to us, we wouldn't have taken this lineman again,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair. Even still, though, just having a plan at quarterback that isn't Kenny Pickett anymore, like, they just need a competent quarterback. They're desperate.
I could see him trading back and getting Dart.
Yeah, I could see them reaching for Dart at that pick, too.
God, yeah. True.
So is that treading water?
Yeah, I think they're treading water. I think they're treading water. I think if they take Dart, he's like just Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. Seahawks, they desperately need a couple things, offensive linemen and wide receivers potentially. I mean, wide receivers now is just Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp. So they could go Ekbuka from Ohio State, but they definitely need offensive line. The offensive line is one of the worst in the league.
I think
not enough people are talking about it.
Where I got Zabel.
Don't say that. I hope not. They should take him, but I hope not. But even still, if they do that, that's a good pick.
But that's what I'm saying. Like at the 18th, I think they could. There's a world where they get the second best wide receiver. Probably not, but they could get the third best.
Yeah.
Or like the fourth best lineman. Like I'm kind of on big pick with the Seahawks.
Fuck yeah.
They're in a good spot to just sit and take their pick. So that's fair. If you want to do that, I think that's fair. 49ers. I mean, this is the earliest they've picked in forever. I feel like it's got to be a big pick.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think it's Will Campbell. Is what I think.
You think they're going to get him?
Yeah, I think he plays right tackle for a year and then he takes over for Trent Williams the year after that.
Do you think he's going to fall to 11 or they trade up?
I think they trade up. Like they're in just such a good spot to just trade up at this point.
Yeah, we've talked about a few moving back who will love like idiot teams who are like, we'll trade back so we don't take Will Campbell.
Yeah, and they're in a position then that other team wouldn't be trading back that far.
Correct. And they won't have to give too much to trade up. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a big pick for the 49ers.
Yeah, unfortunately.
By the way, these final three, we're going alphabetical order. What a finish for us.
I know. Buccaneers, I think they go defense. I think they go linebacker potentially.
Yeah, they're all the way back at 19. I really like Campbell from Bama if they get him.
Yeah. I think that's what they're gonna do. That's the other one. Like Tyler Warren is a Colt, and I think it's Jayed Campbell or whatever is. Yeah. He's a Buck. He's got to be.
They'll get at the very least the second best linebacker, more than likely at this spot, or third.
Yeah, whoever they take is going to be an improvement in a position of need. Like their needs are different than most other teams, which is a huge benefit to them.
Yeah, you're doing something, you think?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Big pick is, you got to make a actual. You got to impress us for it to be a pick.
Absolutely. Here we go.
Number one.
The Titans are the number one pick. Unless they have a stroke, they're going to take Cam Ward.
Yeah.
So that's the only question. What do we think of that pick? Right? There's no world, right? At this point, they trade out.
I don't know how you don't sign Aaron Rodgers and draft Abdul Carter. I don't know how you do anything different, but I think they draft Cam Ward, which I didn't think, if you asked me a month ago, I didn't think they were actually going to pick at this spot. And if they did, it would be Ward. I thought they'd trade out or they would sign Rodgers and
or like
then
weirdly Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they said 2 months ago or 3 months ago, they're like, we like our pick. We're probably not going to trade. We think there's a generational talent there. And now it's Cam Ward. Cam Ward's not a generational talent. So if they believe that's who he is, I think it's doing something just because of how historically bad their quarterbacks were last year. But I think if you're going to look back on all the number one first overall picks, like over the past several years, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess Cam Ward was number one, wasn't he? Like, I don't think he's that impressive.
Can I, is this a safe space? Can I say something controversial?
Sure.
Are we out on Will Levis?
Yeah. Damn. I mean, yeah. He's not only is he not good, he's just a doofus.
I think we can fix him.
Who? Matt LaFleur? Who
and me. Give us 3 weeks with him.
Honestly, Gruden brought back quarterback camp.
Herm Edwards. 3 weeks with Herm Edwards.
Let's do. You know what? That's a good idea. So Gruden does quarterback camp. We can do Flurry Sports quarterback fest, and we'll bring in some other quarterbacks, and you and I will lead some sessions.
And 100%.
We'll teach him how to eat a banana.
Mechanics. You tell him who's on his team.
I love coffee. I can give him a nice little thing about like better things in coffee than mayo.
And I'll talk him through some RA decision-making practices.
Of course.
How about we live life in a way where we could maybe wake up tomorrow? What if you
are up 10 points and you are 30 yards in the backfield with a defensive lineman screaming at you? What do? Do you give him the ball or do you throw it away? Or just hang on to the ball? Run out of bounds. Do something.
My man, you could kill a dragon with an egg. Your arm is so strong. Just win the game. Just win the game. Let the punter earn his paycheck. I'm struggling with this one because I'm getting stuck on what they could do and not just Cam Ward. I don't think Cam Ward's bad.
I don't think he's bad either.
I think the Titans aren't as bad as their record was.
Agreed.
So where I'm getting stuck is like, let me find the right comparison. So he'll be better than this. If Cam Ward's Brock Purdy, like they're a good team, you know?
I mean, they were a decent team under Mason Rudolph. And this is what I struggle. This is what I struggle with. Is he better than Mason Rudolph?
Boy, he's cooler. He
for sure.
Say the N-word.
100%.
Well,
you know what? Actually,
shit. Well, maybe that's, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, I think he could be a big pick. I said that out loud. I think he could be a big pick.
Fine. In my opinion, it's you're doing something, but they do have the first overall pick. Do you think they're going to
fuck it up?
I think they take Cam Ward. I don't. This could be a smoke.
I'll do you're doing something.
I just don't think you put Cam Ward on the offense last year. I don't know how big of a difference it is, but I could be wrong. It could be a Jaden Daniels-esque turnaround. And I guess speaking of him, this is a team that has pretty obvious issues.
And a really late pick.
Right. They're in a good position, though, to draft a safety. Which
absolutely. Don't you think folks will try and trade around them, though?
I don't think for a safety, though.
Yeah,
I think most teams are pretty set.
What do they do if, like, two safeties randomly go in front of them? Like, some teams go rogue, the Vikings or somebody.
Yeah. They would try to trade back. They're in a position in the draft where it's almost impossible to trade back. Yeah. I think they would try. And
I think they could be treading water. That's, I guess, what I'm processing through.
Maybe. They could go defensive lineman. There's some good ones there, and they could go that. They could always use a corner because their D-backs in general aren't very good. And there's a chance if, like, a Marion Hampton for the Tar Heels hasn't been picked yet, they could go him because he's better than Austin Eckler, and I think he's better than Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
Like, they have options, I think.
Okay. I think they're doing something then. They're in a good spot for position need.
Yeah. So now is the time where we shuffle. Is there anything different that you think we need to move up or down?
Let's each go one at a time. Like, any clear moves on your part that you're like, we got to move this team around.
I think
I see one that I'm like, you're too high.
I think the Texans could potentially be too high.
I agree. That wasn't who I was thinking of, but Wright State. I don't.
Cowboys?
The Cowboys are going to screw it up. I don't think fuck it up, but I think they'll tread water.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think they'll find a way to not improve.
Okay. I mean, I think the Colts are similar.
Yeah. But I liked our reasoning with the Colts of their position need is in a good spot. Like, they're going to get their lineman or a tight end.
Probably.
Or do they take the number 2 tight end? I guess that direction is out there.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Raiders could fuck it up too. Like,
I'd agree with you on the Raiders. I think the Raiders, now that we've seen the other ones, like,
yeah,
they're going to find a way to not do what they should.
Right.
Anyone we have to move upwards?
I think Falcons could go up. I think Bills
I agree with you
up.
just because they were my first thought. I was like, if Zach says Falcons, I'll agree. I think it's hard for them not to do something.
Right. Their needs are so obvious, and the position, the draft classes there where they're going to get better.
Yeah. The only other one I feel the same way about is I'm wondering if we were like, is it the Jags stink that we're worried about? Because, like, they're in a good spot with good need. Like, they're almost certainly going to get the pick they want.
Yeah. They're going to, I think so too. I'm fine with doing something.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Anyone from doing something moving up? Then we'll leave it there.
Depending on how the draft falls, like Ravens and Chargers, I think could.
I think if it wasn't the Browns, the Browns should be a big pick. But it's the Browns.
It is the Browns.
I guess where I've landed on the Browns, this is fair. I feel like the Browns have to be big pick or fucked up. Now that we've like gone through the rest of the list.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the scenarios where they fuck it up? Shedeur?
I think Shedeur. I actually think it's fucked it up because I actually think they have 3 scenarios. I don't even think Shedeur is the one I'm most scared of. I think Shedeur and another quarterback not panning out, sure. I think Travis Hunter and him just being like fine at 2 positions or like being in a few years like just only able to play one way. Or you already called it. Cool, you take Abdul Carter, but then you trade
Myles Garrett. Yeah.
Which I think they will do. I don't think they take Carter and not trade Garrett. So I actually think they're going to probably fuck it up.
Yeah, Garrett's going to do the whole thing of, I told you it wasn't about the money. Get me out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I like that list a lot. I definitely don't think there's anyone else who deserves to be in Super Bowl.
No, unfortunately
we put
not.
The Niners in Super Bowl?
I don't remember. I think they're big pick.
I agree on big pick. I
agree too. I don't know. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yes.
By the way, the Panthers had wandered up there. Fine.
Oops.
Don't mind if I do. Guess I have to stay here. Yeah.
Are we Panthers fans quietly this year? Is that what is coming down to it, or what?
I think they're hard to root against.
They are. They got something about them.
My Facebook reel is filled with Luke Kuechly interviews where I don't understand what he's saying.
True. He needs to come back too. Cut the shit. Play football.
Coach somewhere.
Yeah. He's too good. Okay. Well, this is it. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Here's your grades ahead of time.
Here's your grades. And Flurry Sports grades without letters, as always. So there you go. We will be back next week for our Easter show, post-Easter. He has risen. Post-Easter,
and that John Cena.
That's right. Post-WrestleMania. You're right.
Yeah.
That'll be something.
Yeah, which I think we're going to have a lot of thoughts on, especially if we end up watching it together. We're going to be in a mood.
We are going to be in a mood. You're correct. Okay. So we will be back
for a mood.
It's going to be a mood. See you then. Bye.
Sports will save